through my veins. On the pitch where the glory remains, the cockerel stands brave on the crest. North London pride, this ain't no jest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. Tottenham, Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. What we have watched is another terrible performance at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 2026 has started the same way 2025 ended, in absolute charade and dismay. Boozering round the stadium at the final whistle. Thomas Frank looks toothless. He looks brainless standing on the touchline. Players that can't even play football. First half, the best football we've watched. Absolutely brilliant. Lots of positives to take from that. Second half, let's just stay at the back. Let's defend the 1-0 lead. We're at home, for God's sake. We're not playing away from home. And again, Tottenham Hotspur fans go into meltdown. 90% want Frank out. 10% want Frank in. All the rest of us want somebody to buy somebody. Joining me, of course, on this After the Whistle, we're going to try to be a bit positive. We are. We're going to try to look for the positive shoots out of all the negativity. It might not work, but we're going to start that way. Is my man Big James. He is making his return to the channel after a hiatus. He was, if everyone wondering where he was, James was stuck down a deep drain pipe in Australia. He couldn't find his way out of it until he met a man called Ange Postecoglou, who showed him the way. But James he's only made it to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That's as far as he's got. Did you bring Ange with you, by the way?
No, I left him at home.
How are you, bud? Happy New Year to you anyway, bud.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all our lovely, lovely followers and viewers today. I hope you are all well. Yeah, I'm good, Dermo. I do apologise for not being on as much.
Well, you can't be helped down a drain pipe. You can't help falling down a drain pipe and have an hand showing you the way out. Don't apologise.
Yeah.
It's just one of them things.
It is. But yeah, and we could have definitely done with some of the rats that I met there being like rats up a drain pipe and in that second half, but
yeah,
they were more like rats leaving a sinking ship.
It
was a bit shocking,
isn't it? Yeah, I think he's done for, James. I think he is done for.
It pains me to say it, but it looks like that's it. I mean, I know we spoke earlier on today, Dermo,
yeah,
and I made my frustration's clear. I've very much been a Thomas Frank supporter, even
You have.
up until the end of the year, and sort of said he just needs time, he just needs time, he just needs time. He hasn't got the players that he wants in yet. But when you see two polar opposites in one game of football, it's absolutely shambolic, really is.
It is.
It's I just before we came on air, I said to you, dear Moses, what did he tell him at half time? Stop playing?
Yeah. I don't
Because
know. I mean,
that's what it looked like.
yeah. Us this year at home, 10 games we played at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We've won 2, drawn 3, lost 5. We scored 12,
Yeah.
conceded 12. We've only picked up 9 points in 10 home games. And do you know,
Yeah.
we're down in 17th place. Burnley, West
Again.
Ham, and Wolves have a worse record than us. Then if you put it all together, the home and the away form, which is actually keeping us out of a relegation fight, by the way. We're now down to 13th place on the same points with Crystal Palace. Bournemouth are only 4 points behind us. Leeds are 5 points behind us. Nottingham Forest are in 18th and 17th. Now, I'm not saying we're going to get relegation. We're not in a relegation. West Ham, I think Burnley and Wolves will be the teams going down. But we could slip down to 16th by the end of January if things don't improve. I don't know. Let's just get into the chat. Let's see who's in. Look, there is positive to take out of this game, James. As naive as that sounds, there is positives because that first half was really good. But let's welcome a few people in. Big up Spurs. So Charlie says we could end up going down if it carries on like this. I don't think so. I think West Ham West Ham gave Wolves their first win in a long time. I think they're doomed. Big up to Stephen Robinson. Toothless in attack, no technical ability, no strength, no clue. West Ham, same as you, James, shambolic from our front line. We needed 3 points to have a tough January. Big up Marani had a golden chance and his first touch was awful. Big up to the godfather himself, Mr. Philip Brady. Get rid of Frank. Now, a man that's seen it all, by the way, James. He's seen it all. He's seen us go down. He's seen Jimmy Greaves play. These are the people I look to in this dire need. Him, Wilton, David Clark have seen it all. Can they guide us out of this dire situation we're in? He said, Frank in relegation fight. We're at home. We should be winning. Exactly. Anthony Lynch, big up from West Cork. Frank out. David Clark, the irony of your opening clip says everything about Spurs' place in the world of the Premier League. Take out celebrations of winning Europa Cup. I don't see any clips with this squad of the last 5 years. I know, David. It was put together. How that intro is put together very quickly was me and James and Tequila's time supporting this club. And it's our through generations of us supporting Tottenham. I totally agree with you. I like Frank, but it's time to go. Exactly. Phil Spur, Frank is good. Just been him. Berg did a foul throw, and that's down to playing up Frank. That horrendous first touch by Marani is on the play. Yeah, players do have to take responsibility. And Marani had a golden opportunity. James, look.
Yeah.
Can we please start positively before we get into the negative side? Let's start the positive side. First half, thought, I like this. I like the lineup. I like the way we've set up. Liverpool that game at Fulham has now ended 2-2. So
yeah, I've just seen that. Yeah, a late Cody Gakpo equaliser in the 94th minute. Cody Gakpo scored in the 94th minute, making it 2-1 Liverpool, and then the young lad Reed equalised in 90 plus 7, so 3 minutes later. Who gets an equaliser for Liverpool, and I think that's a fair result there, given I was following. But going back to our game and trying to start a bit positive. The first half was better. Was probably some of the best attacking football that I've seen us play. Yes, we only scored one. Yes, I appreciate we only scored one, and it came from our left back, as in Ben Davies. I get that, and I'm not by all means saying that we were like the best team in the world there. It was better performance for as of late of what I've seen of Spurs. The attacking threat was there. Matisse Tell bombing down that left wing. Everything that good that seemed to be happening and positive attacking was going down that left-hand side with Tell there. He was running at the Sunderland defenders. He looked positive. He was getting his head up and looking to move the ball forward rather than the ball going backwards. It was good, flowing, attacking football.
Yeah.
I think Richie was really good in the first half. He looked lively. He looked, even Mawani, he looked lively and active and looking to get involved in the game. Odebear looked positive, driving forwards down on that right hand side. So I do think we had a better first half. The second half, like I said, completely polar opposite. It reminded me of watching Jose Mourinho's Chelsea, score one, sit back and soak it up. And we've never been that team. We have never been a team that can sit there. And so even when we had probably two of the best centre backs the Premier League had ever seen in Toby Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen, we could not do that.
No.
I think we needed to stay on that front foot and to continue attacking and pushing Sunderland back. And instead, we sat back. We gave Sunderland far too much respect in that second half. Whereas I think Sunderland, I think Gerard says it correct. Sunderland gave Spurs too much respect in the first half, and then Spurs gave Sunderland too much respect in the second half.
Look, for me, if you look at it this way, that second half performance was as spineless and as pathetic as I've ever seen. We're the home side, right? We are the home side. We should be going out there getting 3 points. I said it in the watch along. It was like, they will get a chance. And I think they had two warnings. One shot just went over the bar, didn't it, in the second half? Then they hit the post. And I said, that's your third warning. Next, then 35 seconds later, they go and equalise. Romero was poor in the second half, where he was good in the first half. Mickey van der Ven looked quiet in the second half, but looked good in the first half. I thought Ben Davies tired, to be fair. And I think Ben Davies played well today. And he really did, for me, marked why Thomas Frank used him out there. He did a professional job, Ben Davies. I'm not going to slate him because I don't think he did anything wrong today. Romero nearly gave away.
He came in and did a bang out job, did Ben Davies. He came in and did what you would want from an experienced head. Come in, solidified that left side, was a threat, but was there doing his defensive work time and time again. I can't knock Ben Davies. And for me, Ben Davies was probably certainly in the second half, was still probably one of the best players in a Spurs shirt in the second half. I mean, I will get my play ratings over to you, Dermo, but really, Ben Davies still sits at about an 8, whereas some other players, because of their second half performances, they lose points for me. And I will get it over to you.
Yeah. I was just saying, but look, for me, I mean, look, we've been linked with Paquetá from West Ham. We're still in advanced talks with that deal. 26 million could be the price. Is he the player today that turns that second half from the pathetic, shambolic performance we saw into a more of an attacking, good second half? Because once Kudus came off, I thought we lost our attacking advantage a little bit.
Yeah. A little bit. Would Paqueta do that? He'd have the ability to make that kind of impact. Absolutely. 100%. I think we missed Simmons. I think Simmons should have certainly come back into the team, given his form before the Liverpool game, and even during that Liverpool game. Look, everybody can get hung up on what what happened in that game and was it malicious? Did he deserve to be sent off? But at least he was showing desire to try and win that ball back, given that. So I would have liked to have seen Simmons come back in and certainly play. I think he could have made the difference and linked up the midfield to attack better in the second half and given us that out. I think wasted opportunities is probably the key in that game. Certainly for us in the second half, the few chances that we had catching Sunderland on the break. Richie needs to learn to deliver a ball quicker. He looked at Mawani twice, for God's sake.
I know.
And saw Mawani in acres of space, and I'm screaming at my TV, just dink it over him, just dink it over him, just dink it over him, just dink it over him. Let him run onto it. That's all he needed to do. A pass 10 yards in, 5 or 10 yards in front of him. Mawani's running straight onto that, and he'd have buried it. Yeah. But he didn't.
If that was the other way round, I think that ball would have reached Richard. I think Morani would have put the ball in a lot quicker.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. And you could see Mawani just sort of look deflated, as if to say, I've fucking busted a gut to keep up here and get there and put myself in this position. And you take too many touches, and then it gives 3 Sunderland defenders chance to get in between him and Mawani, and Richie just tried to thread it between a gap that wasn't there.
I don't know. I think Thomas Frank has now come to the point where I think if we don't get a result against Bournemouth and we lose to Villa in the FA Cup, I think his time at Tottenham is over.
I think he'll be given his marching orders. But again, it's you think of the Bournemouth game that we've got coming up midweek, and then there's the Aston Villa game.
Yeah,
and this is me. I'm not defending Thomas Frank, but I'm trying to play devil's advocate a little bit here.
No, that's fair.
Right? If we get rid of Frank after the Aston Villa FA Cup game, say we get knocked out of the FA Cup, I'm hoping and keeping my fingers crossed that it doesn't happen. If that happens and we get rid of Frank, unless we have got a manager who has been actively been pursued by the club and has been actively watching the games to know what he's walking into, to know that when he walks into what's going to be basically the last 2 weeks of the January transfer window, he is going to have to come in, make a snap judgment on the squad, on the team. He's not going to be able to see how that team's going to be implicated in his style of play, and he's going to have to make decisions on new signings very, very quickly. Because at this point in time, if then you say, no, we're not going to get any kind of transfer activity until after the FA Cup game, then we're leaving ourselves short on time if we decide to stick with Frank as well. And it's then, do we sign Frank players, or do we sign new manager players, or do we just do what Spurs have done for many transfer windows and sign club players that the club can sell for profit? I don't
think that needs to happen. I think we need to buy players we need to stick to a philosophy and do that. I just want to do one thing. Big up to your column as well. He says players looked like they lost interest. They did, Bod. They did in the second half. But I am proud to announce that we have a new channel sponsor for match days. This is our new match day sponsor. We're a bit like Tottenham. We have a season sponsor. We have a match day sponsor. James will be wearing this on the side of his shirt, on his jumper very soon, a bit like Tottenham. But a quick shout out to Connor Designs, who are helping creators level up their channels. If you're looking for a professional thumbnail, intro videos, studio backgrounds, or logo designs, Connor Designs specializes in clean custom work made specifically for creators, not generic templates. As you can see with our intros, that was designed by O'Connor Designs. They offer a fair price, and I can agree with that, on both established channels and smaller creators with a quick turnaround and a proper attention, of course, to detail better than Thomas Frank does in his halftime team talks. If you want your channel or even Tottenham to look more professional and stand out, please check out O'Connor's Designs. If you mention the promo code, which I have here, I do have something coming up. There you go. If you do mention the promo code THFCTID26, you will get a 10% off your first order. I have left all this in the description and his email as well. So guys, do get over to O'Connor Designs, our new match day sponsor of this channel. Really is a great shout. 10%. It's not to be sniffed at as well. And he will be doing a bit more work for us as well. And guys, also do get over to Private Internet Access. Their link is in the description below. Our channel sponsor for the 25-26 season. Please do get over there. Good offer. I think it's €46 for 2 years VPN. Never be without watching the Spurs play, even if you're in the depths of Zimbabwe, in the depths of in Burma. We've watched people from Burma have watched us. If you're there, do Private Internet Access, the best internet around. So that's all that out of that. James, I want to go through Dermo. I told you 3 draws just before Christmas. The first have been draws, that's true. Big up to Cuba. I don't really see what Frank could have done. The worst attacking lineup in my lifetime. Literally nobody on the bench to change it. I'm happy to get rid of him, but delighted to get rid of them. I would. You know yourself, Tequila. Sorry, Cuba. You know yourself about that. It's cheaper to get rid of a manager than it is to get rid of these players. Big Steve breaks my heart. Even during the dark days in the 90s, we had likes of Anthony, Klinsmann, Ginola. We're no Stardust in the squad whatsoever. Can't remember. So I can't. I'm 44 years this year. 43, 44, 4 years this year. Yeah, can't see it. Thomas Mullen, worst manager I've seen in 60 years. The Perez, big up Dermot, the panel and the chat. Question: at what point does it become irrelevant who the manager is? Spurs had the project managers, win-now managers. Both don't work. What is left? New owners. That's a very good point, isn't it? That we've had different types of managers under ENIC over the 24 years. Do you know what? It can't be all the managers. It is the players. I think the full buck should lay at the owner's door. I think managers have been used as scapegoats. Players have been used as scapegoats for managers not getting the right result. I think the full blame should be put in the owner's door, personally.
Yeah, you can put. The thing is, shit always rolls downhill.
Yeah.
So when you're at the top, you pass that book to your manager, who then says about the players, who then players don't want to play for the club, blah blah blah. Shit always rolls downhill. But yeah, I agree. The owners need to do more for the club now. We've got Daniel Levy has gone, and we all said Daniel Levy was the man that was hamstringing Spurs. So Daniel Levy's gone. Let's see if ENIC really do put the money in where the mouth is. Now, I was told before the January window started that we had £150 million to spend in the January window. Now, in my reckoning, that must have gone up at least another 35 million with the sale of Brennan Johnson. So that's 185 million that we've got to spend in January. Yeah. We need players. We need attacking players, and we need. Yeah. I get the understanding of people who say we need midfielders, but we are so overwhelmed with so many midfielders. We've also got Madders coming back. I'm hoping Decky is going to be back by the end of the month.
Solanke could be back by the end of January.
Solanke could be. Yeah, Solanke he's back in training. He's on the grass. Kulusevski's back on the grass, but he is doing light work at the moment. It's not full training. He's not training with the team. we are looking, I probably would sort of say mid to late February for Decky. And this is from an injury that wasn't serious, according to Ange Postecoglou, when Ange Postecoglou announced his injury, because he got injured just before the Bodo Glimt semi-final game in the Europa League. Oh, it's nothing serious, but Thomas Mullen says Solanke, Madison not back, Kulu March. Yeah, I mean, Solanke and Madison are both back on grass, but obviously they're building fitness up. Kulu is just doing light work, and I'm guessing getting his knee moving again and getting some strength built up before we probably see him. Would probably be early March, late February, early March. Thomas, I probably agree with you on that one. One thing, one quote I will.
I just want to say big up to Perez for the question as well, and big up to you, bud. Please hit a like, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. Great to see you in the chat. Brilliant question, by the way. Absolutely great. So big up to you, bud. Go on, James. Sorry, you got Thomas. Quote?
No, Mr. David Clarkey said Frank will not be sacked in January, no matter what your connections tell you. I never said our connection had told me he was going to be sacked. I think
that was more at me, James, than you.
Oh, okay, fair enough. And I was just saying, if he was to be sacked, it kind of it was kind of leaving us in a short space and a short turnaround of needing a manager quickly. But that was my opinion on it. I think Frank should be given time. And given this season, we all knew, as Spurs fans, we always want more, but trying to be realistic and again trying to play that devil's advocate, it was always going to be a season of transition. The only transition that I can see is we've gone from playing suicidal football to just shit football.
And it's also, isn't it? You saying that it's in transition. It's the biggest shake-up in the club in its 140 odd years of existence. It's the biggest shake-up we've seen. Look, I think that the board and the ownership, I think the summer window was a failure. Because of the war between Daniel Levy and the side of it. I think Paratici didn't come in until near the end of the window. Got reappointed. Now he's looking that he could be going to Fiorentina. That's still, for me, I think he's at Tottenham until the end of the season. I think he will be there until we hear something official from Spurs.
I think he's there till at least the end of the window.
Yeah. I think also Thomas Frank is now losing his protection, if you know what I mean.
He's losing his grace. He's had his grace period. He's losing his grace period. He's out of his grace period now, and I think people are looking at him. And I agree, Thomas Mullen, Brentford I do seem to be playing better without him. Absolutely. But with regards to Paratici, my money, if he is going to go, it'll be the end of the January window. And I think, in all fairness, it will depend on two things on whether or not he stays. One, what the financial package is that Fiorentina are offering. And look, we all know Italian football and the Italian leagues are not blessed with money.
No.
They're not as rich as some of the other clubs in Europe. So it's what kind of financial package and financial backing Fiorentina are going to give Paratici.
And what power he's going to get.
What power he's going to get. But to me, is what Spurs do in this transfer window. If Paratici is bringing players to Tottenham and Tottenham are simply not basically acting on it and pulling the trigger on players that Paratici is bringing to the club or bringing to the forefront and saying, look, this is a player that we should be looking at, and we keep rejecting his players, as a club keep rejecting his players, I think he'll walk, because he'll say, what is the point of me doing the job? Because I'm bringing you these players. I'm telling you these players are going to improve you. I'm telling you these players are going to be good. But if you're not willing to pull the trigger on them, what's the point of me doing my job? And that is the keystone. If how many players we bring in January that Paratici recommend.
Yeah.
And if we don't sign anybody, I think he'll walk because he'll just see
Yeah.
what's the point.
I've just got a guest joining us for about 10 minutes as well, James. So we just got Steve from America joining us. It's another Spurs channel. He owns his own channel, but he just sent me. He's very angry with Thomas Frank. So it'd be good to get a different perspective than hearing us
Yeah.
talking about it. Get somebody else
Yeah.
to pop on and talk Frank. Look, Thomas Frank for me is a nice guy. I just don't feel Tottenham's the right club for him, and I think he's
No.
got to. I think we've got to find the right man. I think Tottenham are the crossroads this season. I said we've got the biggest shake-up within the club within its 140 odd year history. We've got Paratici. I think there is a power struggle. There's a power war in the boardroom, James. I do feel that now. I think Tottenham are up for sale in all but name. I think
Yeah.
Thomas Frank, I think the players have lost respect for Thomas Frank. I think the players are not listening to him. He's playing too defensive football because he hasn't got the players to play his system or the players to play how he wants to see the game being done. And I think it's an unholy mess. It's an unholy travesty that after us winning the Europa League last year, it was a chance for us to build on that and build on top of that. And he said in the summer, I'm going to build on the shoulders of Ange Postecoglou winning that Europa League. Now, we know Ange lost 22 games last season, James, right? And we know the fan base with Ange is really divided. But I think if you're looking at it looking at it now and looking back, did Tottenham make a mistake in getting the manager they got in the first place? If they were going to get rid of Ange, did we need to keep it the same manager as Ange, but add a little bit more defensive to him? Did we go for the wrong man?
Yeah, 100%. We went for a wrong man. I told you that in summer. I was very underwhelmed by the Thomas Frank appointment, but I was always going to give him my wholehearted support when he came in. I was very underwhelmed, certainly with the managers that we were linked with, and some of those managers were more attack-minded managers. Look, Thomas Frank as a manager is a good manager. He is a good manager, and no one's going to take him away from being. No one can take that away from him. He's a good, solid manager. It's plays the age-old saying, isn't it, that we've had for years and years: is Spurs a poison chalice when it comes to management? Antonio Conte, Jose Mourinho, serial winners come to Spurs and don't get the support that they thought that they were going to get. Is Thomas Frank another victim of Tottenham Hotspur poison chalice syndrome? I don't think so. I think he's a victim of himself. I think he's a victim of trying to get Spurs to play in a way that Spurs don't play.
Big up to you, Steve. Looking very... Is it cold over there, bud?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. What's going on, James? Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, man. How have you been holding up?
I've been good, Steve. I've been good, mate. Good to see you too, my friend.
Yeah.
By
the way, before we get into it, man, how was your guys' holiday? Did you guys enjoy the Christmas and New Year?
Yeah, we're not seeing Tottenham. We had a great time.
Fair enough.
Where are you on it, bud? Where are you? It's dreadful. Look, a point at home feels like a defeat today, doesn't it? First half was brilliant.
Yeah.
Second half, it was dreadful. Thomas Frank, where are you on him? I know what you said in the WhatsApp message.
Yeah, I'm. You know what's interesting is I never like to put pressure on a manager where he's already got it. But that being said, today I think I lost all respect to the point where I actually am. I'm at that point where if he gets sacked, I'm not going to be upset about it. And the interesting thing was you're absolutely right. There were we started off on the front foot. We actually looked like we were up for it. As a matter of fact, we were actually trying things without being so rigid. I think Pedro Porro had that 40-yard flick on goal, right? That's something that is completely not what we do. And it seemed to me that once Mohamed Kudus came off and Randall Kolo Muani came on, and there were a few wobbles in the counterattack, all of a sudden he reverts back to the mean. Like as soon as things don't, as soon as things look like things might be a little shaky, all of a sudden he takes his foot off the gas and he pulls back. And what was infuriating was the fact that we were actually doing a good job clogging passing lanes. We were actually pressing and getting turnovers high. And then instead of, like one or two passes and putting ourselves in a position to score goals, instead these passes are now going back. We're taking a step back. And to me, and then the entire second half was just absolutely dreadful. As a matter of fact, we weren't actively doing anything in the second half, except for the last 5-10 minutes after Sunderland had already equalized. But the reality is, I want a coach that actually has a killer instinct. Say what you will about Ange Postecoglou, he had it. Now, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But the reality is Thomas Frank does not have a killer mentality. He doesn't, we have yet to see Spurs actually put somebody to the sword this year. We actively have not seen that. That first match against Brentford, where we actually get 2 goals in the first half, he takes his foot off the gas and just is okay with hanging on for a win. Today we get one because we weren't able to do anything in the run of play. We nick a goal, and instead of continuing to press forward and getting goal 2, goal 3, and putting Sunderland out of their misery, we take our foot off the gas and we act like, yeah, one goal's good enough against a Sunderland team that is up for the fight. That's one of the things that Sunderland has this year is that mentality, that siege mentality where we're not out of any game and we can play our way back into it. And all it takes was a sequence, and all of a sudden, instead of actually being up, where that goal wouldn't have mattered, because had we had done what we were supposed to do, it would have been irrelevant. But all of a sudden now, instead of taking a massive 3 points, we actually drop points. And we're nowhere, and we are still where we are when we started the day. And so from that standpoint, Derma, I look at it. I look at what our roster is able to do versus what they can't do. And the fact that he still is continuing to try to push a square peg into a round hole. It's January, and we have no identity. We have no idea what we want to be as a club. We have no attacking identity. And say what you will, for all his faults, at least under Ange, we had that. We knew exactly week to week what we were trying to accomplish. For the life of me, can't figure out what it is that we're trying to do. And so from that standpoint, Derma, I'm out. I'm 100% on Thomas Frank.
Yeah, look, I don't think anyone can disagree with you. Look, I've it's easy to be so negative about it. You have to try to look for the positive. And that's what I was trying to do with this after the whistle, trying to look for any positive we can. But for me, James, look, I agree with everything Steve said there. We just have no identity. And you can say what you want about Ange, but we had an identity under it. We had this never say die attitude under Ange, good or the bad for it. But if this was Ange today, do you think we would have beaten this Sunderland side today? Do you think that first half we would have put 2 or 3 or 4 past them? Because that's what it was. While we were on top, we should have put the game to bed there and then. We should have been good enough in the first half, put 2, 3, 4 goals. And I kept saying it. As soon as Sunderland will get a chance, Sunderland will get a chance. If they take it, they will. If they don't, then we're lucky. But I mean, how different what do you think he said in the dressing room, Bud, to make us so shit the first half, second half for me?
It probably was more along the lines of let's not do anything stupid. Let's make sure we're defensively solid. Let's probably not leave ourselves exposed. Don't push up so high. We don't need to push up so high. Don't rush forward. Build it up slowly, and we'll break them down slower rather than trying to rush onto it. That's probably what he said, and I can't see why he would have said that. Like you said, Steve, is you need that cutthroat, that killer instinct. Like what Ange had, of we're going to put our pedal to the metal and we are not lifting our foot off that gas until the full-time whistle is blown. To the detriment of Postecoglou sometimes, he did that. But also there were times where there were certainly games where we were down to 10 men when we were playing Luton, and we still pushed and pushed and pushed, and we ended up nicking a victory against Sheffield United. 89th minute, we're 2-1 down. We come back and we keep going, and we won 3-2. It's games like that that you think, yeah, we need that more attacking mindset. Were the players good enough up front today? You can say they were. They just were unlucky not to take the chances. But I think it's the team as a whole need to look at themselves and sort of say, and if I say the team as a whole, I'm including the manager in that. The team, the manager, the coaching staff need to take a long, hard look at themselves and say, what is Tottenham all about this season? Because if we're just going to try and sit back and defend, play that way for 90 minutes, sit back and defend for 90 minutes, and tell the team, tell the fans, no, this is how we are going to play. We are going to sit and defend and learn how to defend. Before we learn to attack, we're going to learn to defend. And tell the fans that's what you're doing. Not this half-hearted, well, yeah, we were positive and look, it doesn't wash with the fans anymore. Mm-hmm. And the fans are getting frustrated, and the fans booing at the full-time whistle. They booed at Brentford. They were booing before the New Year, before the Christmas period games. We got that. We won a game, and it was like, okay, the pressure's lifted a little bit. But then the very next game, we diabolical shit again. And then this game, first half was good, second half was shit. If anything that sums up Spurs' season so far, today's game was perfect example. It one sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit, and that is Spurs this season.
Yeah, the inexplicable decisions by Thomas Frank are, for me at least, what loses credibility and respect, right? So today we actually started off pressing high, and we were actually really good at it. As a matter of fact, there were periods in that first half where Sunderland couldn't cross the midway line because we were doing the right things. Not only were we pressing, but our midfield double pivot was stepping in passing lanes, and all of a sudden we would win balls back up high. And yes, I understand that the passing at that stage was a little clunky, but you still have to continue to do it because eventually it's going to correct itself. And that's the thing. It's like as soon as there were wobbles, all of a sudden, foot off the gas, and we stopped doing that. Like by the 35th, 40th minute, we weren't pressing high anymore, and we were actively not getting forward. It was like the only difference between Crystal Palace and Sunderland was the fact that we were lucky that Sunderland didn't put away their chances, because there was a good chance in that match they were battering us, and they just couldn't connect. Sunderland was able to do it today. And it is the difference. It is the difference between what a good club is supposed to be and what Brentford is. Like we are Brentford right now. Unfortunately, I hate to be the one to say it, but we're not playing with a big club mentality.
No, I think we've got to accept we're a mid-table team. I think we have to accept that we're not a top six side. We're not a relegation side. I think we're a mid-table team, and we've got to accept that. And look, I said at the start of my watch along today that for us now, between the today and the end of the season, if we want to get into any bit of European competition, even if that's the Conference League, we have to be consistent in the Premier League, win your home games, and then if you're going to pick up a point away from home, win the games you can win and get a point in where you can get a point. Look, we had a bit of bad luck. Kudus did go off injured. I'm still waiting to see how bad the injury is. We did sell Brennan Johnson, so we need to get somebody in quick. Just to give you a bit of an update, guys, on the Paquetá deal as well. Just got a little update a few minutes ago. So just give me 2 seconds. I will give you
just
that
while
now.
you're digging that up, Dermo. What you said there, Steve. Right, I'm just looking at the graphic of the way the game played out regarding the graph that I've got of how the momentum in the game went. And it's that graph. Oh, you can't see it. It's because of my screen background. It's blocking out. Let me just get rid of that. 1 second. I'll take that off. You get a nice picture of my bedroom now. So Spurs are yellow, and you can see literally for most of the first half, we're in the ascendancy, and then a little bit in the second half, Sunderland come into it. Spurs try to regain, and then it's just all Sunderland as they keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and we're going further and further and further back in that thingy. I mean, it just beggars belief on why we what was he doing? What did he do in the second half? What did he say at half time? Like I say, I believe that's what he said. Me
100%.
personally, he probably said we
agree with
don't
you.
need to be pushing as hard, and it was blatantly obvious that's what he said, and that's I was so frustrated that second half. It was untrue. It really was. Simon Cohen, he says, evening all. He says, we need top signings. I agree, Simon. We do need top signings, but who's going to come to a club that is languishing mediocrity? That's now where we are at.
Yeah.
You know, the interesting thing, though, and I know, Dermot, you're about to hit us with an update, but I always ask this question, right? Like, what most fans want are proven Premier League talents.
Nice.
Okay, so number one, name me 3 players in the Premier League that are available, that are proven commodities, but are available for us. Go ahead, I'll wait, because the answer is maybe Savinho, who I don't rate at all, and Marmoush, who again I don't rate at all. There's a reason why they can't break into City's, essentially of their first team. There's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Because they're not good enough. And by the way, and that's the thing, it's like we have Mikey Moore, who's absolutely killing it for Rangers, who should come back off a loan. That would add to it. But the reality is, it's like we're not the team that we think that we are. We're not going to be, even if the money is there, we're not going to be able to track those type of players until the results on the pitch actually change, and there is actual, credible, tangible proof for a player that is in that 80 million pound range to come to this squad. So in effect, what are going to be available are going to be the Jan Diamandes, the 19, 20-year-olds, the Akalushes of the world, who are very good players, by the way. And if we ended up with a couple of those guys, I would be thrilled. But the reality is, like, that is the table from which we are buying from. We are not like, there's a reason why we couldn't get Morgan Gibbs-White, and we can't get the winger from Brentford. The winger from Bournemouth, Semenyo. There's a reason why they're saying, yeah, thanks, but no.
Yeah, I've got an update on. Sorry, James, just very quick. I've got a bit of breaking news on Kudos's injury. Early signs point to a muscular injury, thigh upper, which can be varied in its severity. Even a minor strains can often lead to weeks out, especially if scans show inflammation or muscle fiber damage. Spurs are hoping it's more of an impact injury rather than a serious one, but they could see him out for 2 weeks or up to a month. Tottenham Hotspur are expected to provide a formal update after further testing and the manager's post-match press conference. And also, on this, big up to you, Mike, as well. He says, Jose said that we have to defend collectively. That's what we said years ago, and we've been long forgotten. You can see the players losing all focus and positioning as the second half went on. Weak mentality, absolutely. Yeah. Look, I know Mikey Moore's doing brilliant. I'm trying to forget about Mikey Moore yesterday. I'm sorry. That after them beating us, no, I'm sorry. That manager couldn't fucking go and all. I mean, look, very quickly on Celtic, Steve. You've seen this man, Nancy. Forget to say in MLS. Do you think he's been harshly done by coming to Scotland very quickly, managing Celtic, or do you think he needs time to?
Well, the obvious answer is he needs time, but he's not going to get it. Welcome to the modern age of the modern age of world football, right? Where, and this is the exact same encapsulation of what's going on with Thomas Frank at Spurs. It's what it was ultimately the downfall of Ange Postecoglou at Nottingham Forest. The reality is you have to come in and assess your squad correctly. The interesting thing is, if you are an unproven commodity going from Major League Soccer to Celtic, the first order of business is getting results. It is not trying to implement your style. It is getting results, because results equal credibility. And if you have credibility, then you are able to build your team in your likeness, in your image. Wilfred Nancy had to come in and deliver results right away. And if that means that you don't get to play your tactics and you actually have to play a simplified version of football because it's easy for the players to pick up and you're going to be able to results, then you do it. Because what the problem with Wilfred Nancy is, he actually plays a beautiful style of football, but the difference is in Columbus is he had 4 or 5 years in order to build that team. And now now you're coming into a different situation where the first thing has to be is your ego has to get checked, and then you have to deliver results. And if that means you're playing 4-4-2 and you're playing direct counterattacking football, whatever the case may be, then you do it to get results. Because the first thing you have to do is get the fans on your side. And unfortunately, he went there to try to play this expansive football. And of course, he doesn't have the players in order to do it. And so unfortunately, if he gets sacked, it sucks, because I like Wilfred Nancy. But if he gets sacked, it's because he decided to put the ego in front of the team.
Yeah. Please, he can go tomorrow. I'll buy him his airplane ticket back to America. No disrespect, Steve. No disrespect, but I'm just frustrated. You shouldn't lose the Rangers. Tottenham draw today. Celtic lose the Rangers. Footballing wise, been a dead weekend for me. Now, guys, this at the bottom is about Paquetá. It is about Paquetá. It is. A few more clubs have. Hang on, I don't know if I can actually show that. I don't know. I'm waiting for an update if I can or not.
Well, he's been sat there for about 5 minutes, Dermo, so it don't matter.
Oh, okay. I can use it. Yeah, that's fine. A few more clubs have come in for Paquetá in the picture as well. Spurs are still ahead at the moment. It's still a verbal talks with West Ham, his agent, trying to organise a package that will fit all what he wants and what Spurs want. We're still in advanced talks. So that is to that. Guys, we are going to end it off. I've been streaming for a while. I need to go and see Mrs. Tron and go and get organised, cook for dinner. Right. Very quick, what's coming up on the channel. Play ratings tomorrow at 4 o'clock, guys. So join me for the play rating show. We also got a show out in the morning at 9 or 10 o'clock. A sort of Monday transfer roundup of all the news I've been given. And then we've got all the build up then on Tuesday for the Bournemouth game on Wednesday. So pre-match build up on Wednesday night, Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. We've got the predicted lineup out on Wednesday morning. So guys, do join us for that. Any breaking news, we will bring to you first as fastest, as we always do, every transfer window. And yes, by coming back by popular demand, transfer deadline day will be what we did in the summer. Me and James sitting there for 8 hours, talking absolute garbage, getting excited with the player going from QPR to Coventry. We'll get guests coming on. Steve, you're welcome to come on deadline day as well. Bud, give us your thoughts on it. We're going to get people to come on. And yes, back on Thursday at 1 o'clock, the Irish Lads Talk Spurs podcast is returning after Christmas. Me and Dave putting the world to right after I've gone through about 34 pints of Guinness and 25 vodkas shorts. I'm not ready drinking live in there, by the way, but I'm just saying. We're going to put the world to right. So a lot of shows coming back. But Steve, it's great to have you back in the channel again, bud. It's been a while. We need to get you on more. We need to start get you on a bit more. But you're doing really well over in stateside footy. You're really growing. Really privileged. It's inspiring to watch, by the way. So what you got coming up over there, buddy?
Well, the first portion of the week is going to be more geared towards the U.S. men's national team as we do our weekly Yanks Abroad segment on Monday. And on Tuesday, I'm going to return with 5 names of young U.S. men's national team players that apply their trade in Major League Soccer but should make the jump to Europe. So that's going to be on Tuesday. And then, of course, as the week progresses, we get more into the Tottenham Hotspur side of things, as I'm working on a show right now to try to get Dave Harris and Luke Samuels on for a transfer window discussion. I guess that to essentially ask the question that if we do bring in talent, are things going to change on the pitch? Like would it matter? Does it necessarily matter that we're going to have incomings if the tactics don't necessarily match the players? So we're going to have that discussion, and hopefully we get it done this upcoming week. And then, of course, we always have the Hotspur live stream every single weekend. So obviously, we are inching close to the start of the 2026 Major League Soccer season. So we're also going to gear up for that as well, too, as hopefully I can get some good guests on from that side of things, as well as with Spurs as well, too.
Yeah, do get over to Stateside for it. Let's put a few likes on there. Subs onto Steve's channel. He does great work over there. I may not always put in the chat, Steve, but when you do your late night watch alongs and I'm in bed and can't sleep, I do watch them. So
there you go.
Yeah, so I may not always comment, but I'm always watching. So big up, lad. Right, James.
Right there.
I know you haven't been around. Yeah, there we go. The link's in the chat as well. Do go and show Steve some support, please, guys. Would be brilliant. James, tomorrow at 8, we do have a special show coming up. Me and Rain are doing it. We are talking about Pochettino and is he the only manager to unite Tottenham Hotspur? That should be after the information I got on Thomas Frank. I think yes. I think myself, James, and I think Steve agrees with me that if Pochettino was offered the Spurs job, I think he would walk over the Atlantic Ocean to take it. I don't know if he would quit America now.
I think he'd wait until after the World Cup.
World Cup.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to the World Cup.
I think he'll turn around and say, if he's offered the job, I think he'd turn around and say, yeah, I'll take it, but get somebody to fill the void until the end of the World Cup. Yeah. And I think Spurs would be stupid to turn him down at that request.
I think so.
I think
so, bud.
He would. Pochettino was one of the few managers that I think managed to balance the attacking and defensive side of the game perfectly for Spurs. There's no coincidence that some of our best finishers were under Pochettino. Some of our best recent years were under Pochettino, and barring different recruitment, we could have taken that next step, but we didn't.
Yep.
And the rest is history, so to speak, and we find ourselves where we find ourselves. So, yeah, I'd love to see Poch come back and give a second bite at the cherry, so to speak. And I think he'd do well for us. Even with this squad that we've got, I think he would be able to get a tune out of this squad.
Do you know why the answer is 100% yes? Because the fans have the belief and trust in Pochettino.
Yeah.
Right? He's the one guy where the fans were 100% be on board. But also think of it from a squad standpoint, the expectation levels are incredibly high. Like, you have to meet these or you're not playing. And if that means Mikey Moore plays off the left-hand side, he's going to dip into the youth and give those guys an opportunity, because if you're not good enough, you're not good enough. Period. And it's in those standards that the fans look at and say, you know what? He's Tottenham 100% through and through.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
James, we are trying to get together. I know you're busy at work. We are getting together a weekly tactical show. So we're going to get that together as well coming up. What else are we thinking of getting you to do, James? What other shows have you brainstormed in your bread while you were down in Australia, looking as actually showing you the way out of your little tunnel experience?
So there's obviously, I'm going to be doing jumping on Double Dumb Gaming, our gaming channel. I am, as people can see, I have a backdrop now, and I've got Santa Claus was very kind to me, gave me a nice shiny new laptop. So there, once I figured out, I'm moving up in technological world. So,
you mean Mrs. Santa, not Mr. You meant Mrs. Santa, don't you?
Mrs. Santa Claus, yeah. Mrs. Claus said, no, the man deserves it. I think he's been a very good boy this year, so we'll give him what he wants. So yeah, that's going to be coming very soon, where I take on the World of Football Manager FM26 Once I get me OBS sorted out and everything, there will be shows going out. And it's going to be sort of a different kind of format to what you'd usually see. It's going to be sort of long video format, 2 or 3 hours at a time on a stream, where we go through the season together. It's not going to be a big club. It's probably going to be starting off in the lower leagues, and we are going to grind it out together, where you guys as followers and people who watch get to influence my choices, who we go for in the transfer windows, things like that will be happening. It's going to be great once I get it all set up. That's coming very soon. Obviously there'll be watch alongs. I'll be joining you on Dermo when I can. Shows once we get the tactics show and everything up and running, that'll be great to do. And it's just squeezing it all in, guys, for me, unfortunately. Work has just been absolutely pandemonium over the New Year and Christmas period. Getting phone calls, being dragged into work short notice. It's just, it's an absolute mare of a moment. And certainly when you find out that your work colleagues are going out on a night out on the piss up and you're getting phone called to be dragged into work, doesn't sit very nicely with me. But I'm all about my team and I'm all about helping and giving it my colleagues a dig out. So but yeah, that's what it'll be. Yeah, definitely. Give me Spurs job.
Listen, on Double Down Gaming as well, guys, there will be some F1 content from me. There will be podcasts from me and James as well, as we'll go and talk about. And also, when the James Bond game comes out, I will be doing a walkthrough with that as well. So I'm looking forward to that. But guys, that is After the Whistle. Thank you all for watching. Another day, another time at Tottenham Hotspur. We've been let down again, but look, we'll all come back again Wednesday. We all be up Wednesday. We all be back in the team. Guys, join me tomorrow at 5 for the player rating show. And then at 8 o'clock with Rain, we were talking all things Tottenham manager, Poch and managers. And then on Tuesday, all your build up to the game on Wednesday, the match on Wednesday. And then we gear up for the greatest competition in the world, the FA Cup. Can Spurs make it 9 FA Cup wins? Yes, we can. Because I have a funny feeling we might win that competition. But on that bombshell, I want to see you later. See you tomorrow at 4. Come on, you Spurs. In
somebody we trust.
In Pochettino, we want him return. Come home, Poch. We need you.
Eyes on the fly.